I sometimes get the question, where do you place Jordan Peterson? Because for some, Jordan Peterson is almost Christian, is in fact already Christian, and not just Christian, he's in fact already Catholic. He's so positive towards the Catholic faith. Why does he not join the Catholic Church? Why is he still not a Catholic, at least officially? For some, he is already a Christian. For others, he is in fact not more than a Gnostic. They mention the fact that he is greatly inspired by Jung. And Jung is, well, has strong inclinations towards Gnosticism. Has a lot of inspiration from Gnosticism. So where do I place Jordan Peterson? Because it's true, a lot of the things that Jordan Peterson says remind us of Gnosticism, where very profound imagery determines the identity of man, what man is, what he can become. And it's true. It corresponds very often to what Gnosticism says. And what lacks in Gnosticism is also a little bit what lacks in what Jordan Peterson does, I must say. Because you leave Gnosticism the moment you ask questions about purpose, about the final meaning of things, finality. Gnosticism sort of finds its wisdom in imagery that can be very ancient, imagery that is like very deeply hidden in the life, the emotional life of man, the conscious and unconscious life of man, all these archetypes in man. And it's often explained with evolution. You know, we see this in man, but you see this behavior also in rats or in dogs or in birds, and that's amazing, and it explains it a little bit, and it sort of justifies it. And it's not surprising that Gnosticism at some stage, when it sort of continues to reflect on existence in this way, concludes that matter is bad, that the trials that we experience, that suffering, it's all from matter, and that we have to sort of, that matter is maybe created, but that means the creator is a prankster. That the creator has played a very bad joke with us, a bad practical joke, creating matter, putting us into bodies, which make us suffer, which make us suffer each other, which causes us to, which makes us tormenting our fellow human beings, which makes us slaves of passions and instincts. So Gnosticism, because the question of purpose is not really asked, it concludes that matter is bad and that we have to find redemption and freedom and beauty and everything beyond the God that has created us, that has created matter. We have to find, well, some reality beyond this material reality, beyond the differences between good and bad, true and false. And it's not surprising that if you continue to turn around in circles in Gnosticism, you end up with a Luciferian religion. You say there is something beyond creation, something beyond the creator, That means also something beyond all differences between existence and non-existence, between good and bad, between truth and falsehood. Beyond all of that is something or someone that gives us the real peace. Which means Lucifer. Beyond the law, beyond reality, beyond logic, beyond all that. All those things that make us suffer, that make us feel powerless. The thing is, that's where you go if you don't ask any other questions than how did things develop? If you don't go beyond, in fact, concluding that everything is the fruit of evolution. If you ask questions about where did it really originate from, where did it really start, and even more importantly, where is it going? What is the end of all things? What is the original purpose? Then, in fact, you end up with the truly natural religious instinct of man. You have to ask why, what's the purpose of it? And you escape from this sphere of imagery, of archetypes, where, well, if you don't go up, you go down. If you don't discover by analyzing, by asking questions and trying to find real answers beyond imagery, beyond imagination. If you ask those questions, you find the religious man. If you don't ask them, you fall back into Gnosticism and you end up in some Luciferian, spirituality or whatever it is. But if you ask the religious question, then suddenly you see the challenges of life. And those challenges are, in fact, Jordan Peterson has discovered them. And he is really on the verge of asking the right questions. And that's why the question, is he a Christian or is he a kind of Gnostic? The answer is he is both and he's neither of them, because he is on the frontier between the two. The frontier between Christianity and, let's say, the life of the soul, the life of psychology, of psychoanalysis. There is a frontier, and it's a firm frontier. You can stand on it, and you can decide. That's where Jordan Peterson is standing. He is on the verge of asking those questions. What is the purpose of it? Because he sees darkness as a challenge. He doesn't console himself with a delusional solution of saying, okay, darkness is produced by a creating God who is not almighty, who is not the highest power. No, he accepts it as a real thing. The suffering being a embodied spirit, it's a real thing, and somewhere it must have a real purpose. And that is religion. Who created all this, and who must have some purpose for it? And of course, Christianity offers an answer. Of course, there's different varieties of Christianity. There's a myriad of Protestant churches. There's quite a crowd of Orthodox churches. Somewhere in the middle, there's the Catholic Church, which you might have noticed I belong to. But before entering into the universe of Christian answers, you have to understand what this means. What is this frontier between the life of the soul and everything that springs forth from the life of the soul, which is described by psychoanalysis, psychology, imagery, also art, all these aspirations of man, which can be represented by legends, by myths, by images, all these artistic expressions, but which then need to be more precise, so that man can, in his moral life, really see clearly and distinctly what it means to be religious. That means what it means to want to link up with God, to re-establish the relationship with God, which is literally what the word religion means. Religion, re-link, re-establish a true, truthful, realistic relationship with God. And that's why sacrifice plays such a crucial role in religious life. And that's why trials and moments of darkness, moments of death and dying, play such an important role in religious life, because they are frontier moments. And the imagery in the life of the soul, of the soul that longs for a religion, of course, this imagery stems from the way life begins. It has to do with being in a safe place, being born into a dangerous world, and then looking for a new birth, not going back, but going forward. The same safe place we all were before we were born, we are somehow looking again, we are looking to re-establish, to recover such a safe place. And somehow, because we left that safe place through a war, which was our birth, we also realize that we may have to go through another war, another trial, to come to the final, the ultimate safe place where we are to abide forever. And that's religious man. And so the imagery, it's very normal that it is that this imagery is sort of stems from, it is inspired by our birth, our procreation, the way life is transmitted. In other words, sexuality, but in a very natural and pure way. That's why if sexuality is perverted, the symbolism, the religious symbolism, is also perverted, and eventually it's no longer possible. And man has no more religion, no more religious instinct. He will escape from any trial, even the smallest. And you can formulate what this natural religious inclination of man is. And that's what we urgently need to do today. And that's why Jordan Peterson is very useful, because he's standing on the threshold between the life of the soul, which is not precise yet, and on the other side, Christianity. And he's standing on the threshold, this firm place where man can stand firmly, where he can stand straight, asking questions about purpose, about absolute truth, about what sacrifices are worth offering in the quest for the God who created us and who wants to share with us the purpose of His creation. Even during the trials of life, and I would say especially in the trials of life, because if we trust God, we can also trust the fact that trials in our life can have a very beautiful outcome. An outcome that God can see already from afar, but that He wants to share with us in His light and in His presence.